Hello, guys. Welcome to our February Legacy Leaders meeting. Welcome, welcome. It's so good to see some of y'all's faces. We are going to just kick it right off today. Or first, we're going to do some announcements. So, World Tour. Who went to World Tour so far? Because there's still some left. There's still a few to go. Yes. So Anya had hers 2 weekends ago. I had mine last weekend. If you know, you know, right? If you go, you go. If you don't, you don't. And that's all I can say about it. I know I think the US has 1 or 2 more weekends of world tours. I know Orlando's, Columbus. We have some people going to those this weekend. So it was amazing. And just know that when you experience World Tour in a day, SFR is that times 5. So it's times 5 days. So if you were tired after World Tour, you're gonna be tired times 5 after SFR, because it is just go, 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 nonstop, all the information, seeing all the people, talking to everybody, all the things. Raleigh World Tour is the one that me and a few other people were at. It was huge. I don't even know how many people were at SFR last year, but I feel like it was like the same amount. But we had 1,400 people at World Tour. So at Raleigh World Tour. So pretty crazy I haven't been around that many people in a very long time. So it was very stimulating. And even as an extrovert, I still was like, I just need like a minute of quiet. So it was huge, huge, huge. So if you haven't been, get excited. You have so much to look forward to. And if you didn't sign up this year, next step is SFR. You have to, guys. When I say you have to, I mean, I strongly encourage that you attend SFR, you attend events. We're going to talk about that tonight. And that you just take the opportunity to give what Cincy is giving us. Anya.
Hey. All right. I'm going to say this with all the love in my heart. Okay. All the love in my heart for you guys. But you know that one thing Whit and I always try to do is be very transparent. We want to be honest with you. Okay. And I've even spoken my stories on today. I have just realized how much I value realness, rawness, honesty. Okay. So if you're here, you're going to get it. Leaders are held to a different standard than just all the consultants. Okay. I was talking about this with Whitney today. I do not treat my certified consultants the same way that I'm going to treat my leaders. I'm just not. You're held to a different standard. And it's a good standard, right? If your SSD wasn't held to a standard, we might have some problems. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Like standards are good. Okay. Right. All right. So you're held to a standard. You know what you need to do. You know what you need to do in your business. You know what you should be doing. If you've been around for a while, you know you should be doing, especially in your leadership. Okay. You have to hold yourself accountable to do those things. Like you don't have a boss here. No one's your boss, right? We can give you all the tools. You're like, I've heard this 5 times, then do something with it. Okay. We want you to do something with it. You can't just be like, oh, I've heard this so many times. It's so great. Stop showing up just to show up. Stop showing up just so we see your name or your face. Okay. Because is that you showing up just to show up doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do anybody any good. Not your people. Okay. Not you, not your business, just because you want to make sure that we see your face. All right. The thing is, you have to implement. Okay. It's not just a check of the box thing, right? I don't know. There's that saying about a whore in church and a car in a garage or something like that. I don't know. Whatever that is. Okay. It's kind of the same thing. You got to do something with it. You just always sitting here isn't going to do anything. You need to put your feet to the ground, move, do an action, actually work. Okay. I want you to be a sponge. That's what I want you to do tonight. If you've not been a sponge this whole time, you're going to start today. Okay. You're here for a reason. It's not by accident. You are going to be a sponge. Okay. So when we have a sponge and we put our sponge or a beauty blender. This is where I got this visual, by the way, when I was putting my makeup on today. Your beauty blender or your sponge, you put it underneath the water, right? You put it underwater. And what happens when you put it underwater? It expands, it gets bigger, it is full, right? It's full, okay? But it's only going to trickle a little bit at a time if it's just full and just sitting with the water in it, right? When we want it to work, we got to squeeze it out. That beauty blender is not going to move makeup on your face and blend everything together unless you squeeze out all the water, okay? Then you got to put it to action, right? You got to put the sponge to action, okay? When you soak up the water and you squeeze it out, now what happens to your water output? It is gonna pour, it's coming, okay? It's coming all at you. All the water's going everywhere, right? Literally, I squeezed mine. I was like, you need to clean that. There's a lot of makeup and water coming out all over the place. Please don't get on my shirt, okay? That's what I was thinking of today. But that's the thing. It's now empty. It gets a better result. It's now empty, and now you get to come to another meeting or listen to another training, and you get to fill back up. Then you're going to squeeze and you're going to put it into your business, and it's going to fill your business. Okay. It's going to clean your business. It's going to do what it needs to do, but your sponge just getting full of water ain't going to do nothing by itself. Okay. It's going to smell bad eventually. Think about that. You want a smelly business? Not in a good way, because we're Scentsy consultants. Think about it. All right. You have to think about it. So we are going to fill back up. We are going to do the work, and then we're going to empty ourselves into our team, into our business, and do it all over again. Okay. Y'all, half the time, I really do not know fully what's going on with Scentsy. I'm just going to be very honest with you. There's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of group pages. There's a lot going on in all the places, and I'm just doing my best. Okay. It's a lot. Here's the thing. I do not have to know all of the little details to be successful. Okay, details are great and they're wonderful. I'm not fully a detail person, just gonna be honest, but they're great and they're wonderful. And if you are a detail person, that's amazing. But the difference for me is I'm focused on doing the work. Okay, the details are fantastic. And I was reminded by Katie's thing in class in session. She was like, I didn't even know when I was gonna promote. The day that I hit level 2 of the incentive, Whitney said, level 2, baby. And I told her, congrats. Okay, that's where we were at. I was not paying attention to my numbers. I was just doing the work. An incentive is great, but I want to just do the work because I love what I do. Okay, details are wonderful, but you also need to do the work. Okay, you got to do what is important. So if you know what's going on every page, and you can tell me all the details of the banner at the top of your page and whose numbers are what, but you're not doing the work, it's pointless. Okay, don't just be here to be here. Be here to do the work. Okay, now we're going to get started, and you're going to be a sponge, and it's going to be so good. I'm excited for y'all. It's going to be good. All right, go ahead, Whitney.
It's going to be so good. Okay, so tonight we're talking about truly leading from the front and what that means. So I want y'all to put in the comments, first thing you think of when someone says leading from the front in your business, what does that mean? Just tell me one thing. What does that mean to you? We talk about this a lot in Legacy Leaders. This is something that I've always been taught and talked to about. And we have a lot of newer leaders. So it's something that, again, like Anya said, some of this stuff is going to be a repeat for you. But if you're not growing or your business isn't growing, it's time to implement it maybe in a different way. Okay. So let's read some comments here. Sharing how you work, being successful, showing how you are doing all the things, doing what you expect your team to do, doing the work, showing how you're working, being successful, do the work and be the example for others to follow, do the things you want repeated, high PRV, coaching call, showing the way, show yourself doing the work, doing the things and showing my team how, doing the things you expect your team to do, getting in the trenches with my teamies. I could go on and on. So all of those are so good. Now I want you to think about, when's the last time you actually did that thing you said? When is the last time that you did that thing you just said with your teammates, or in your business, or on your director's page, or on your team page, or whatever? Lots of todays. Okay, so we have a lot of people that say they're leading from the front. Okay, awesome, awesome. So I'm going to tell you some more ways to lead from the front. Your business, like you said, your business. Like Anya said, when you're a certified consultant, it's a whole nother ballgame. I sent out an email today to my squad certified consultants and asked them, are you ready to take the next step? Why? Because leadership is the next step. Once you're even thinking about sponsoring, once you're even just asked your first person to join, it's not about you anymore. You're taking that next step to better yourself, to better your business, to better your future, all of those things, right? So your business has to look a certain way, whether you like it or not, to be a leader. Even Cincy says so, right? We have to have our leadership numbers by having our PRV, our active frontline, our TWV, our GWV, right? All of them, all of those things, we know that, right? So here's a few things to start implementing. It is the 15th of the month. Yesterday was mid-month of February because it's a short month. You should have, by our recommendations, being honest, you should have already had your 500 PRV in as a leader, because it's not just about you. You can't be getting your 500 PRV on the last day of the month and being able to have the mind space or the attention span or the energy to give to your teammates, even if it's just one person. Why? Because you're a leader, and there's so much more than just PRV as a leader, because you should also be actively sponsoring as a leader, right? You should be doing those things you want your team to do. So look at the next title. Whatever you are right now, look at the next title. When you're at SSD, it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a lot of different because you're already at the highest title. It's not about title. But if that's your goal, or you want a certain paycheck, or you want a certain title, or whatever it may be, right? You need to look at what's next, and you need to start showing up as that in your business. I'll be completely honest, and I will tell, and I've told many people at home office, I hate that SDs, even directors, let's be real, I hate that directors, SDs, and SSDs still only have to get 500 PRV. I don't like that they only have to have 3 active frontline. How are you going to hold someone the same standard? That's a whole nother thing. That's my opinion, right? But to have that minimum by mid-month is so huge. So then you can say, I have room in my life to give to someone else. That is what leadership is. Okay. So look at the next title, start showing up as them. You can have 500 PRV and 3 active frontline, but you're not going to get 80,000 GWV with that. I'm going to tell you right now. Okay. Same thing for whatever the next title is. Those are minimums, literally bare minimums. Okay. Yes. And that's where it comes in. We're setting expectations for myself. Me, I like 500 on the 1st. I like 2K by the 15th, and I like 4K by the end of the month. I want that consistently. Okay. Because I'm more worried about consistency than having a bomb 8K month, 7K month, and then the next month going down to 2K. Why? Because I know I'm building that foundation to my business. Okay. So we're not going to ask our teams to do something we're not doing. As a leader, and we all know what the 3 important things are in our business. Please tell me you know what they are. Put them in the comments, please. What are the 3 most important things in our business? And when I say 3 most important things, I mean they cover a lot. Let's be real. Yes, PRV sponsoring training, PRV sponsoring coaching, PRV sponsoring showing up, whatever that looks like to you, okay? And let's be real clear, and I said this at World Tour, that this business isn't easy, but it is simple. I think everyone on this call knows exactly what they should be doing. They just may not be doing it. And that's hard in this business, because guess who's going to tell you to show up every day? Me. Not Eric, not Bennett, not my mama, me. I have to show up for me. I have to show up for you. I have to show up for a team. I have to show up for a group. Okay. I have to show up because I have to show up for my family. Right. And that's part of our why. But we don't ask our teams to do something we're not doing. So we're focusing on those 3 important things. And we turn that into a ladder while we were sitting at SFR last year at leadership, because it does go in a certain order. So PRV by the 500 by the 15th, that is what I would recommend that you have a goal of. If you're sitting on this movie, it's a movie, that's for damn sure. If you're sitting on this training, you don't have your 500 PRV, that's what you're going to leave from here and go do first, right? Your team will see you working. Even if you're not sharing how I'm working, or even if you're not necessarily saying this is what my email looks like, or even if you're not doing those things you should be doing on our team pages because they're a blessing, they're still watching you work. They're watching your social media, they're watching your stories, they're watching how you email them, they're watching where you're showing up in Cincy announcements or can you get them? Cincy recognition, they see if you're a leader, if you're on that banner, right? They know if you're working or not because they know what you look like when you are working. Okay, yes, give them a front seat row to life. Give them a front row seat to your business. They are watching you, whether you're sharing or not. Success comes from experience. Success comes from experience. If you're not having experience in this business, if you're not going through all those hard parties where they're a flop, or you're getting told no, like I have literally every single person I've asked this month for any kind of party, it's a no, right? I know what that feels like. I can relate to that. Success comes from experience. If you're not experienced in this business, you don't know what to say to people when they come to you with a problem. If you're not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, you're not going to have the tools to help your team. Okay, so PRV first, you have to front load as a leader. Huge part of leadership is front loading. Okay, now I'm not telling you to share things a month early or 2 weeks early. Me personally, I share at earliest 2 days, the last 2 days of the month, because I can usually crank out 500 PRV in those 2 days between pre-orders and exciting things that are coming in my mystery boxes. Okay. I have found a way to get that squared away on day one, most months. Sponsoring, taking action, doing the things you're saying you're going to do. Now, we have all been through the dips of our business. It may not be right now for you. It may have been when you first started. Maybe you haven't hit a dip yet, right? But I was in a super dry spell for sponsoring for a good 3 months, 0 sponsors. It was not lack of trying. I have my spreadsheets. I can show you who I asked, but it was just no after no after no after no. I had to do that self-evaluation. Duke's trying to get a toy. To do that self-evaluation, to try something different, see who I was asking, right? It wasn't lack of trying. My people saw the conversations I was having, right? And now we're finally, thank you, Jesus, coming back to it because I didn't give up when it wasn't happening. Okay, so I can relate to people when they say, I can't sponsor anybody. Trust me, I get it, right? I've been from annual mentor to not sponsoring in 3 months. What is he trying to get? Everything's happening tonight. Huh? It's like a toy or something over there. Okay. Sharing your failures with your team. This is hard. No one wants to say, I'm not good at this, or this is not working, or I'm failing at this, right? But no one's business is perfect. No matter how much you think someone else's business is perfect, it's not. And if it looks perfect, it's probably not gold, it's gold plated. Just going to throw that out there. Okay. Because there is no balance in this business. If your business is totally balanced, let me know. Let me know how you did it, okay? Because I don't think I've ever been there. Maybe during hypergrowth, where we were cranking out people, but honestly, it wasn't building a foundation, another training. So take that action. Training, coaching, that third thing we talked about, consistently. A lot of people struggle with the consistent part of training and coaching. And here's how I did it. I started with a Tip Tuesday. I intentionally shared every Tuesday in Simply Grace and Grit when I started, when I was a star consultant, of a tip. It wasn't even necessarily a live. It was something I was doing in my business. It was a post turned into some lives. Now I do a mix of both. I'm working smarter, not harder, because again, you know what to do in your business. You just have to do it. Okay. There was an SSD at World Tour this past weekend, and she was like, her people said, I watch you for my trainings. And I'm like, y'all should be watching her. She should be training you. And right there, she said, I don't train. And I said, why not? She said, I just don't know where to start. So here's where you start. You start with a Tip Tuesday. That's exactly what I told her. I said, you pick a day, you start small, you do it consistently. They're going to start trusting you. Whatever you train on live, you upload it to YouTube. Who watches it, watches it. Who doesn't, does it. But you showed up. And that's what's important. In training and coaching, showing up is the most important part. I was talking to a director today. Everything you're doing is right. All you can do as a leader or as a director is offer these people help or a tip or how you're working or whatever it may be, right? All you can do is offer it to them. What they do with that is up to them. Just like us, they're an independent business owner. They have to take it or leave it. And if they leave it, that's fine, right? But you're going to be there consistently, whether they're there or not. Same here. Whether you're here or not, I will be here every single week sharing something. Every single day, y'all know I'm going to post on Simply Grace and Grit. You know it's going to happen. May miss a day or two. It is what it is. But you know that consistency is there. Okay? With a lot of us too. This is not just a one-man show. Sharing what you're doing, big or small. Okay, Sylvia shared her Tip Tuesday today on just like interaction in parties, because they're way down, because we can see who sees what, right? In groups, amazing feature. And she shared on that a quick tip on how to get around that. My Tip Tuesday was on a last chance, first glance training that I did 2 years ago. Okay, I watched it. I was like, yep, it covers everything, and I shared it. Okay. Showing up consistently is so important. If you are a lead to a superstar consultant, your director's page is where you should be sharing. If your director doesn't have a page, or maybe they aren't showing up, make your own. Make your own and show up on that. And if you have a director that's not showing up or doesn't share or is not being supportive, you need to let your SD or your SSD know. We are not mind readers. Okay. You have to let us know. So the other thing you're going to show up is to events. They're my favorite. I love events because they were such turning points in my business. Who on here is in class in session? Who on here is in class in session? I hope it's everybody. It literally should be everybody. And if you can't make it on live, I get it. But if you're not showing up on live when you could be on live, that's on you, right? We're not babysitters. We can't do that. You have to do it for you. You have to invest in yourself. So showing up to events, showing up to these programs that are offered to people, showing up to the things that are at your fingertips. Okay. Doing the homework, doing the actionable items at the end of classes in session. If you're showing up to the trainings, awesome. You're probably getting some great tips. But what action are you taking after? And honestly, it's really harder if you're not on live, because then you have to really commit to say, I'm going to do these 10 joint conversations by myself instead of having all these people do it with me. It's harder, right? But you're not alone in doing this. Showing up behind the scenes. This is where the magic happens in leadership. And this is something I have learned in the last about year and a half of my business. That one-on-one connection with people who are like-minded, who want to work, who are coachable, who are hungry, having that one-on-one connection with them. But you have to choose wisely where to spend your time. And I've said this before, in 2023, we're matching efforts, right? Because as a leader, I have a group of 900 amazing people. I want them all to succeed, but not all of them want to succeed. Me and Ani were talking about that today. We can't be mad at the people who don't want to succeed for themselves. We can't be aggravated with that, because we will literally go crazy. We have to focus on the ones that want it, that want to grow, that want to join arms and move forward, because that's what we truly want for everyone. If someone thinks otherwise, that's a them problem. Okay. We have to in business and personal, have that behind the scenes, whatever you call it, because a lot of people will say, oh, well, Whitney doesn't share on Legacy Leaders every day. She doesn't go live as much as she used to, whatever it may be, right? I've heard everything under the sun, trust me. So help me God. I get it. But what I have done is I've built a relationship and a business ship. I don't even know if that's the right word, but y'all know what I mean. A relationship of business with so many people who are growing, and they're growing big in so many different ways in their business. Okay. So that behind the scenes, check in on your people. I'm not saying check in on every month. I'm saying, hey, what are we doing this month? Something simple, right? They're going to get to know you on a level that you can't get to know someone on a page. Because here's the thing. Not everyone has direct access to their leaders. And I know that from experience. I know that from my whole business. I had to fight to be able to be even thought about, right? Or to get attention. But Legacy Leaders is different. Okay. And we want to help you get where you want to be in this business. Not necessarily where we want you to be, because there's tons of people who have so much potential and they're not doing it, but it's just not their time yet. We have to remind ourselves every single day of that. Okay. Do the actions that a director does. That's one thing I was taught or heard very, very early on. You want to be a director, act like a director. What does a director do to you? Do those things. If your director's not doing them, you do them. Okay. We're not just focusing on the people that we're benefiting from. That's not what this is about. And once that mindset changes, you will be blessed more than you ever would have known. I would not be where I am without the help of other people who have no benefit from me financially, which means none of the people in Legacy Leaders would be where they are, because everything happens for a reason. You are here for a reason. Okay, so share, because you never know what could change for someone, but do the actions that a director does, be the leader that you want and need, and then just offer your team those resources, and not just your resources. Okay, you may not like the way that me and Anya do things. You may not like the way that Susie Q does things. You may not like. Okay, we got to take the emotion out of that and just say, hey, what does she have that if she's successful, I want to know what she's doing. That was the mindset that I grew up in my business with. I didn't care who you were. I didn't care what title you were. If you're on the top PRV out of 1,000 people, I want to know what you're doing. How many parties are you having? What does that average of the party look like? How many people are you asking? How are you running those parties? What does that look like? How consistently are you doing those things, right? Those are the questions that I would have for people. It's your job to offer. Their success is not on you. We have to stop taking that onto ourselves.
I hope they all didn't hear
The
that.
success of your frontline. Who's unmuted? Because I can't do it. I'm sorry. The success of your frontline, the success of your downline is not your responsibility. They are an independent business owner. That 1099 is made out to them or you, or whatever you want to look at it. It does not say Simply Grace and Grit. It does not say Legacy Leaders. This is your business. And then the last thing I'm going to say is be you and do your best. And that's all that I ask of anyone, of my kids, of my husband, of myself, of my friends. Be you and do your best. Because here's the thing about leadership. Someone asked us the other day, why didn't you tell us about dealing with hard people? Why didn't you tell us about dealing with difficult team members? There's a lot I can say about that, but it's going to happen People are not going, yes, Anya does have a training on that. People are not going to like what you do, even if you literally pour your heart and soul into them. They're going to find a problem. They're going to find something wrong with it. They're not going to like how you did it. They're not going to like how you talk. They're not going to like, they're not going to like, they're not going to like. But guess what? As long as you, at the end of the day, can say, I tried my best as your leader. I truly did everything I could. Then that's all that you have to give. And to be able to say, I did my best. If my best wasn't good enough, that's okay. But I know I did my best. And as a leader, we have to remind ourselves of that so frequently, especially when you grow so big that you start running into some difficult team members, because it's going to happen because we're all so different. We all have different personalities. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have our own past and issues and quirks and all those things, right? It's going to happen. My heart rate's up. So I'm going to end it there. Go, Anya.
I love it. And you guys, I think that part is probably one of the hardest things for me, because I literally sent Whitney a GIF, whatever they're called, today. And it's this guy running after a llama and he's like, just let me love you. And that's literally how I feel when I want to help people. And they're like, I don't want to be helped. I don't want anything. And I'm like, let me help you. I love you. And they just don't care. It's hard for me. And so if you are like me and you need a reminder, reach out, please. And like when you're remote, she's like, Anya, girl, you can't be trying to shove it down people's throats. If they don't want it, it's not on you. I internalize it so quickly because I just want to love on people and help them see what I see in this business. So if that's you, it's okay. But she's right. You can't. You're going to drive yourself crazy. Trust me. I've had to talk to my therapist about it a few times. Okay. So you can't be internalizing other people's stuff. Don't do it. Just don't do it. One thing I also wanted to hit on from what Whitney was saying, and Sylvia even put it, watching successful people, be mindful of who you think is successful. That's the first thing. I think asking people for their numbers and to see is extremely important. We have a lot of people in Scentsy, and I know this is recorded, but we have a lot of people who want to be Scentsy famous and are not focusing on the core habits of what we should be doing in our job in this business, right? And so I think we just have to be very, very careful who we're listening to and who we're paying attention to. But as you intentionally watch successful people, I want you to strategically think about why they're doing what they're doing. Okay. And if you're not sure, ask them. Okay. Because that's something that I've been doing lately, is asking, why are you doing that? Because I'm curious. I want to know, is it something I should be doing in my business? Right. I need to strategically think about it, because if they're just doing something to do it, I don't want to do that. Do you see what I'm saying? So just be very mindful. Okay. Next, I'm going to go into something that I feel like so many people just really, really struggle with. I think everybody struggles, right? We all have issues. Confidence. Okay. Leading from the front with your confidence. If you're not confident in what you're doing, your people are not going to be confident in you or in what they're doing either. Okay. And I was talking to someone today and I was like, listen, sometimes you just have to do it until you believe it. And I was like, at first I was like, fake it till you make it. And then I started to think about it. There are so many times where I'm like, oh, girl, what are we doing? What is happening? We're just going to go for it. Because if I don't put myself out there and get uncomfortable, neither is my team. Okay. I cannot expect them to do something that I'm not willing to do. And that confidence is hard, but it comes with practice in little things. Okay. And I'm going to try to show you all a picture in a minute, but practice with little things, because when you do those little things and you complete them, you have more confidence. Okay. If you don't ever do them, you can't get the confidence. All right. How about this? I did a challenge for people, whoever was on my team page. I don't care if I'm your director. I don't care if you're not even in my group. If you're on my team page and you were able to get your 500 by the 15th, I was going to send a gift. Okay. To these people. I picked it out. I was so excited. I got everything all cutesy. Okay. Super excited. Matchy. Everything matches. All right. And I did a caveat to it. I said, okay, now that you did that, you need to go live telling the group how you got your PRV. You want to know how many people went live? You want to know how many people went live? It ended up being two out of like 10. So those 2 people are getting that package. Why? Because those people are telling their people to do stuff, and they're all leaders. There's that. They're all leaders that refuse to go live and tell others how they got their PRV. They don't ever give back. And that's why I made that caveat. I did it for a reason. Okay. But that's the thing. They have to get out of their comfort zone. Now that I see that, I know that's not where my effort's going. My effort's going to go with other people's efforts. Okay. But you've got to quit waiting for your leader, your director, your star director, your SSD to make you feel confident in yourself. We are here to shout you out and cheer you on, but you have got to quit waiting for us to do it, okay? Listen, it takes enough to get myself to feel confident on my own, all right? I only got so much to spread to everybody else. See what I'm saying? Okay, so we don't always feel confident either. It's life. We don't always feel confident either. It's life, okay? Sometimes you just have to do it because you have to change your own mindset. Once you get that ball rolling, it's going to change, okay? You know what you're talking about. You're a leader. You know what you're talking about, you guys. You've been to trainings over and over again, okay? You know what you're talking about. Go tell it to other people. Go actually, oh Lord, I'm dropping stuff. Go actually do it, okay? You got to implement and get uncomfortable. It has to be an action, okay? Another thing, when it comes to leading from the front, okay, and we keep hitting on this, doing the work, all right? Listen, you don't have to have the highest numbers, okay? I'm going to be really, if I'm sitting at the number 1 PRV spot for my group, I'm just slightly worried, okay? I'm going to have over 2K PRV, that's not a problem, all right? But I have some really high PRV producers that if I'm sitting at the top, it's like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, what are y'all doing? What's everybody, were y'all working over there? Like, what's happening? Okay, you don't have to. Whitney said she went through a sponsoring dry spell. Obviously, she wasn't leading her team with no sponsoring, right? You don't have to have the highest numbers, but you do have to do the work. She can show you her receipts. Show the receipts, girl. You know, she can do that for you. That proves that she's doing the work, all right? You need to be doing the same thing for your trustworthiness and your credibility as a leader. Trust me, your people know if you're not doing the work. They know because they're going to bring it up to somebody. Okay? They know. They're not dumb. They're not dumb, all right? So think about that too. As for leading for the front, you've got to make sure you can take care of your people. If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. That's as nice as I can say it. If you cannot take care of your people, take a non-leadership role. Okay? You having an off month here and there, you struggling a little bit, okay, life, get it, cool. You know what? If I'm your SSD and you come to me and you're like, listen, I'm going through X, Y, and Z. Can you please just invite my team to your team meeting? Done. That is not a problem because you're normally showing up, right? And life gets hard. We all know life's going to happen. But if this is a continuous thing, no, we need to do, I'm still working with your people regardless. I've been working the whole time with your people. That's not an issue for me. Okay. But if you cannot take the heat, please get out of the kitchen because you know what happens when you're a lead consultant and you can't take care of 2 or 3 people. When you become a director and now you've got 50, 60, 70 people, it doesn't get easier. It literally does not get easier. And then you put other people in bad positions when you piece out as a director. Okay? Like, no. So if you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. Sit there and think, mull it over, talk it over. I have so much more respect for somebody. I had a leader quit today. She called and took a non-leadership role. She said, I cannot with everything that we've got going on. I can't. Just found out she's pregnant. She's got a baby under 2. She's got a 4-year-old. Her husband and her are rocky. She's stressed. She's struggling. She's also in school full time. That's fine. Take a non-leadership role. If you change your mind later, you change your mind later. Be honest with me. I can help you that way. Okay. But I can't do anything if you're not honest. I can't do anything to help you if you just don't show up. You got to show up for your people. You guys, if every single leader here, even just on this call, this isn't even as many, and some of y'all aren't even in our group. Okay. If every single leader on this call did 2 posts a week in their leadership page, or 1 post in their leadership page, 1 post on their team page, that team page and that leadership page is on and popping. They're giving back. Okay. That's huge. You got to show up. Your people see you. They don't always want to see Anya or Whitney. Guess who they want to see? Their person they connected with and joined with. They want to see you. Okay. They don't care about me. They care about you. Show up, shout them out, take care of your people. If you're not shouting them out, that's a problem. If you're not looking at their numbers and saying, oh my gosh, you were so close to 500 PRV, run your reports, take care of your people. Okay. Let's go. Do it. Match their effort. Notice their effort. Maybe they don't have the highest PRV, but they are showing up and they're sending you. These are the messages I'm sending. I'm struggling. Notice their effort. Work with them. Help them. Okay. Notice. Pay attention. All right. Okay. Another thing with you being honest, you saw Whitney just said, I've been in a sponsoring spell. Okay. I just said, if I'm at the top of my leaderboard for PRV, we kind of worried. All right. We're being honest with you. You have to be honest with your people too. And Bree put it in the chat and I was like, yes, that's in my notes already. Okay. She's like, I'm going to give my people a challenge, then I'm going to do it with them and I'm going to show them what's happening as I do the challenge. What do you think that does for her team? They are confident that their leader is going to hold them accountable. They're seeing that their leader is working. She is showing what she's doing. She just hit so many different ding, 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 ding. Okay. If you see that we do a sponsoring blitz or a party blitz on the Wildflower Warriors, 9 times out of 10, it's because I need more parties and I don't want to go talk to people. It's as simple as that. Okay. So what am I going to do? I'm going to say, hey team, y'all want to do a booking blitz? Because it's going to hold me accountable. And then I can show them my conversations at the same time, whether I get a no or a yes. But if I really don't want to do it, the best way to light a fire under my butt is to say, oh, I know that my people are watching me. They're watching. I can't just do a booking blitz and not show up to it. Okay. And just be like, oh yeah, y'all did so great. No. All right. Get in the trenches with your people. Get in the trenches. Okay. Keep one another accountable. All right. If you're like, hey, I'm struggling with growing my network, go talk to one of your people. Are you struggling with growing your network? Okay, let's each find a training on it, then watch both and talk about it together and talk about what we're going to implement. That's leadership right there. You didn't just say, go sell 15 fragrance flowers, girl. Do you? No, what is that doing for a strong foundation? What are you teaching them as they post? My pet peeves, as they post in their stories, I was challenged to sell 15 fragrance shops. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. I didn't challenge you to do that. You're lying, full of shiitakes. My mom's on here. No, you weren't. Okay. What were you challenged to do? You were challenged to go expand your network and talk it over with me, but you never got back to me. That's what you were supposed to be doing. Okay. Do you see there's a big difference in those two ways? One is literally not leadership, and one is leading and being in the trenches with your people. Okay. So challenge your people, do the work with your people. All right. Whitney, can I share my screen? Is that possible? Do you know? I have a green button. Can I just push it and see what happens? It says you disabled that. Sorry, I didn't prepare you for this. I didn't prepare you. Look, now I made it difficult. Oh, I want to show you guys something, okay, that we talked about at church on Sunday, but it's so good. All right. So even if you're not a church person, just hang in there with me. Hang in there with me once Whitney figures out how to share the screen. Okay. It talks about insecurity.
I know.
Okay. You got it? Oh no, it says podcast. Hold on. Oh, I can share it. Okay. Multiple I don't think I need multiple windows. Just one window. Can y'all see that? You see a picture? Okay, yes. All right, so insecurity, okay? This is a crazy cycle, all right? We've got insecurity, and insecurity is gonna come from your lack of action. What? Because you actually have to do the work, okay? Draw this somewhere, put this somewhere, okay? Keep in your back pocket, you need this, all right? Insecurity is gonna come from your lack of action. Your lack of action is going to increase your doubt within yourself. It just goes right back into you being insecure. Okay. You have to do something different. If you never step outside of your comfort zone, if you never say, man, I did so well and I got 1,000 PRV this month. I've been getting 1,000 PRV for the past year. Maybe I should push it to 1,500 and let's see what happens. If you never do that, you're going to say what someone said today to one of my directors. Her person said, oh yeah, no, there's no way I could get 2K PRV by the end of this month. And she's like, I literally told them our PRV mirrors one another right now, but I will be danged if I do not have over 2K by the end of the month. What is stopping that other girl from getting 2K? Her lack of action, which now she is doubting, which is going to lead to her insecurity. She also doesn't believe she can promote. Why? Because she has a lack of action. Okay. Next picture. Okay. This one, security leads to your action, and it's going to lead to your increased faith in yourself, in what you're doing. Okay. Here's the issue with this. Not the issue. The good thing about this. When you do something small and you challenge yourself, that's why we tell you guys to make SMART goals. We're not saying if you've been getting 700 PRV for the past 5 months, we're not telling you go for 3K. You got this. Like, I mean, we might, but is it going to be a consistent 3K? Probably not, right? You have to do a little bit at a time. That's a good thing, okay? That's going to, once you hit that little goal, your faith is now increased. You're now secure in what you're doing. And guess what? You're going to do more actions to do bigger things, which is going to keep increasing your faith. You're going to keep feeling secure in what you're doing. It's a cycle. What cycle do you want to be on? You've got to decide, because that's going to fuel your every motive in your business. What cycle do you want to be on? You want to be on the action or the inaction one? You want faith or doubt? All right. You got to make a decision. Okay. And then identity believes what God can do through you. Okay. Listen, y'all, you have everything inside of you to do anything you want to do. You just have to do it. Okay. Trust the process. Trust God's got your back. Walk it out. Walk it out. Another action. Don't just stand there. Okay. Twiddling your thumbs. All right. I asked my son the other day, did you meet anybody when you went to whatever he went to? No. Did you stand in a corner? Well, how are you going to meet somebody standing in a corner? Go do something. Walk across the gym and go meet somebody. Say hello. Like, you got to do something. You can't just sit here and expect everybody to come to you. Even with your posting, even with your partying and your joining, you got to go do something. Walk across that gym. Go do something, you guys. All right. Then the last one from that sales girl that I can never remember her name, talked about the other day too. Okay. Successful social sellers know their offerings are freaking amazing. Your leadership can be freaking amazing. Do you believe that? Do you believe that that's the case? Okay. Or are you over here as a struggling one, hoping other people think your offerings are amazing? You have to believe in what you're doing. Okay. You have to believe and have the confidence that you have the tools, because you do. You're on this meeting. You have all the tools. It's all on your workstation. Even if we didn't have a meeting, it's on your workstation. You just have to do the work, and you have to show, I know what I'm talking about. Look at all what you've accomplished. That's the end for this. Okay. You are going to go back and you are going to look at from whenever you started as an essential consultant to now. And I want you to compare the two, or even compared to, well, maybe not last month, compared to maybe November or October, if those were your better months. But I want you to compare those, the very beginning to one of your very best months, okay? Because that's going to show you, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. Now you have to show other people how to do it, because you're a leader and you actually have to do the work. And that's all there is to it when you're leading from the front. There you go.
Yes. So the only thing I had to add to that is I lost it.
Gotta write it down, girl. Gotta write it down.
Well, it was towards the end.
Action, doubt, faith. You can do it. You're successful.
Got it.
Believe in your stuff.
It was that It's like right there and I can't.
I
You
believe in
showing,
you.
I got it. You showing up. Look, it's been a long week and we've been doing a lot of stuff the last couple weeks. You showing up is going to inspire someone else to show up. Okay. And so I understand that in this business, we have a downline, we have a front line, but we also have sidelines. And all those sidelines are your Cincy sisters if you want them to be, if you want to be a part of this community, right? And taking, it's kind of like that quote, you can light someone else's, we won't say candle, but fire without taking away from your own. That's what you're doing when you're showing up and you're inspiring other leaders to show up too, right? It's just like when you're building your team. I see it all the time on Simply Grace and Grit, literally all the time. When we have new people come in, it lights the fire of so many people, and not just the people who sponsored them, but it lights other people in the team page because they're like, oh, she's sharing this. I want to share this. Let's share this. Let's do this. Let's get on a Zoom and have a power hour. Let's do this. Let's have a book and blitz, right? Because you sharing has that effect on people that are all working towards the same goal. So even on Legacy Leaders, or if you're not in our group, your leaders page or your team page, you sharing has so much more power on other people than just your downline. And I see it a lot where leaders will just cheer on their downline or their front line and they won't cheer on other people. And that's not servant leadership. Because as leaders, we're helping everybody. That's the same thing for sharing on Cincy pages or sharing ideas that were successful, or hey, I'm trying this. It's the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and end the recording. Should we record popcorn or no?
Sure.
Yes, record or don't record.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do popcorn. If you are new or not in our group, this is something that we do at the end of the meetings every month, where I will, or Anya can call on someone to share a tip in leadership, specifically something that they learned that they're going to implement from this meeting, or just something that is going to be helpful for other people. Definitely looking towards the income producing ideas here, especially with our team, and you will see that the number of people is lowering and lowering because people get scared. But we're going to do it scared, and we're going to help each other.
We just talked about this.
And they're gone. Love them. They'll get it eventually. Go ahead.
I say
Anya, you pick somebody. Oh, Kara's got her hand raised, so Kara's got to go.
Oh, Kara, go girl.
Well, I just wanted to share because this whole thing has been like the life what you guys have been talking about. This leadership meeting has been what I've been living in my nightmare of a life right now. So I just wanted to like give a real life example of how this worked out for me. I have been living through like the most stressful situation since like September, and every couple of weeks like a new stressor falls off, and my body is one of those that responds physically to external pressures. And last week I started getting my second round of Bell's palsy, and what that is when your facial nerve gets inflamed or pinched or whatever, and you literally lose half of your face. It stops working. And so it makes everything really hard. Talking, it makes, you can't blink, you can't, everything gets hard, and it's painful. And I have had a few teamies and some other threads in Simply Grace and Grit where people are afraid to show up on lives or afraid to take their picture with a stack of wax. And so I have been trying to like beat the drum that your customers are buying from you. They can search on Cincy and get anybody, but they will keep coming back to you because of you, your sparkle, your who you are. And the good, the bad, all of it. They show up for you. And the same thing is true for your teamies. The people that choose to come under you because of a relationship with you or something in you that they admire or appreciate, something like that. This is a lot like my journey to parenthood. I'm an adoptive mom. And so another birth mother had to see something in me that they wanted to place their child in my life. And, you know, it's a different kind of, it's so much the same, but a different intensity of things. And so all that is that I had this Bell's palsy, and it made taking pictures uncomfortable because I have like a half smile, like today's the best day. And it's not as noticeable, but for a while, this side of my face didn't do anything when I smiled. So I went live twice, even though I was talking like I had a stroke. And it was important to me to still show up even when I felt bad or looked bad, so that people knew I was a real person and that it's not always happy. And no, Scentsy doesn't like save your life. It doesn't make everything perfect, but it makes it smell nice. And I also like literally was able to buy groceries this week because we got a paycheck. And sometimes it's desperate like that. And sometimes it's the fun money to get your nails done. So the action was that I've been telling my teamies, your story is important. What you share will connect people to you, and that will connect more people to you. People will say, oh my gosh, my aunt had Bell's palsy when she had her baby, and I can't believe like this, you know. And those are the things that make connections, that start to build that network, that start to make people believe in you, that start to make you believe in yourself. So you have to show up for yourself. You have to show up for your teammates so that they see that you don't have to be this beautiful cover model to get your picture on your page where everybody already knows what you look like.
I love that last part. I love it. So good, Kara. I'm gonna say I'm so glad that we're still recording. Me too. Kara, did you want to pick someone else to do? We do have a couple more minutes.
Well, I know who I want to hear from, but she's not going to like it. I would love to hear from Jennifer Peterson, because I need her to know that, girl, I tell every one of my teamies to go friend you and follow you and talk to you, because you do something that most people don't do. And I really want you to share that. Sorry.
Mommy.
Jennifer Peterson. You want to talk, Jen? If not,
Pick somebody else, because the wheels of life are falling off here. It's 4 o'clock. Everyone's home from school.
okay. We'll go with Brittany Bryant.
All right, y'all. I'm just listening. I don't feel really good, so bear with me. So I am a big do what you say type person. I'm not gonna do something and then not, or I'm not gonna say something and then not do it. And my team knows that, you know. I reach out to them one-on-one all the time. I'm very close with my team. I feel that's a big important, because they know the real me. And I'm so proud because I go live all the time and they know this. Well, a lot of them have that fear of, oh, I don't want to go live. I said, look, if you're more comfortable, make a video of yourself first, record yourself, and then post that video. You know, so I had a girl, she was like, can I send you my video and will you please critique me? I was like, sure. You know, I didn't have anything bad to say because she was who she was as a person. And I tried to make her say that, you know, feel that. And she posted it and she was so proud. And guess what? She went live. So it was so big to see her do that. And then I had another girl go live tonight also. And I'm just like, see, if people see you doing this and you encourage them, they're going to follow suit. And then going live, Facebook has been horrible lately with people seeing posts. It's awful. So I've been encouraging them to go live because it's going to pop up on your screen or on your app, your Apple Watch or whatever. I was like, you know, if you do that, oh, okay, I'm going to watch a training. But if you do that, you know, people's going to be like, oh, here, this person, they're showing their story. And they shared their story. They shared why they wanted this business and what's working for them. So I'm super proud. That's what I've been working on this week, is getting them comfortable enough to share their stories and their whys. And it's not picture perfect. Y'all, I go on my live all the time just like this. I don't care anymore. Like, this is who I am. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't get ready half the time. I don't care to get ready just because why I don't go out in public. So I'm not going to get all dolled up to stay home. So I feel like they're finally getting more comfortable in their skin, because that's the beauty of Scentsy, is you get to be you. And everybody's finally just like breaking through. And so it's been like an moment for me. Okay, I'm done, y'all. Sorry.
Britt, pick one person and we'll end with them.
Let's hear from okay, y'all don't get mad at me. Krista Jones. I'm gonna pick somebody I don't know. Sorry.
Hi. So I don't know if like anyone knows who I am. I'm actually under, okay, Ray is my SSD. So I don't really know what to talk about because there's lots of things that have kind of crossed my mind as of like everybody's talked about all these different things. So I'm going to just, I guess, give you a little tidbit about myself and how life has been crazy, but yet Scentsy has made its way through for me anyway. I recently like started a new job, had to leave that job. My husband is now in fire academy, and we are currently living in a camper, and it's really had to teach me how to go back to basics, because I was doing all of this fluff and had to have all of the products and show all the things, and you really don't have to. I'm now confined to just a warmer and my wax and like my little desk in my back room with a printer. Like that's all I have. And it's really had made me work harder instead of just displaying all the things and doing all the extra. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed all the extra, especially when it flourished during COVID. I went from a certified consultant to a director during COVID times. And that huge leap led me to failure and crashed hard, because all the people who were at home and doing all the things, like they all eventually went back to work. They all started living their lives again, which is like, it's reality. It's, you know, it's life. So, and I'm trying to think of what else to say. I mean, since we're living in a camper and, you know, I had to quit my job to move to, you know, support him on his journey. It's really made me dig deep into rekindling my fire with my team. I have the team who I get so frustrated because no one interacts with me, and sitting here talking with all of you guys really like made the thought process of, just because they aren't working or they aren't showing up, that reflects their paycheck, their work ethic, and their determination. It doesn't reflect mine. So I still have to keep doing what I'm going to do in order to reap the benefits for my paycheck, for my life, for my husband, and, you know, our potential family, and like all the different things. So even though you can get discouraged and you may be showing up just for yourself, but that's okay, you showed up. And I think that's the hardest thing as a leader to remember, just because not everybody wants it as bad as you do, and not everybody wants it as much as you want them to want it, and that's okay. And it's a very big pill for me to swallow, because I want everyone to do well, and when you show up and you do it by yourself, it's very deflating. But you have to keep going, find new people, find the people who really want to dig deep. And honestly, as a leader, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have issues with finding, like, I'm sure there's people that want it, I'm sure there are, and people that I already have, but I don't, it's hard to find those people. So like if anybody has tips, tricks, advice on how to like weed out all of the fluff, back to the fluff, we're going to go back to the fluff, weeding out all of the people who are the fluff that you can invest in, things to look for, because I know people are like, oh, I want it, and I'm like, okay, well, where's your PRV? You're at 0 for the last 3 months. Don't say you want it. And then I take, do my part for my work, for my paycheck, to help you, for you to do your business and flourish, and then you don't do it. It's very deflating, and I've done that time after time. I think I've been with Scentsy since 2017, so it's been a while, and it's just done a lot of this over the years, especially like I said during COVID, and it was like major high. So I'm having a hard time as a leader, not only feeding into the people, but being a consistent leader. Being a consistent leader is key. Consistency is key. So sorry, I like totally like went off on a tangent. I don't know any of you people, but okay, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This was truly a sign from God. Like this year I'm like getting into like the fitness and the spirituality discipline, like all the disciplines that I need for myself this year. Okay. So I was casually scrolling on Facebook, and Ray's group thing, she was like, oh yeah, so invited us to be a part of her group, and it was 8 o'clock on the dot, and I was like, dang, like they already started. And I was like, no, like that is my sign to show up. And I love how when I got on, everyone was talking about, you're here for a reason, you're here for a reason. And I was like, okay, like I got message received. So thank you all for having me a part of today in this live, because I have loved it, and I like meeting all of you guys, because I know all of my people in like our huge circle, like under Ray, because Ray is phenomenal. Like, let's be real, I love Ray.
We love Ray.
Yes, we do love Ray. And I've also seen oh shoot, I don't want to mispronounce your name.
Anya?
Yes. I will never forget when I was going through a rough time with all of my people under me. I went on YouTube and I saw her, and it was talking about go for the no. That's what the video that it was go for the no. And I literally shared that with them, because that's exactly how I felt, like I said, with people under me and sponsoring and just all the things, because it was right after COVID, so everybody's like, no. So yeah, anyway, so I also look up to you very much as well. So I'm so glad I got to meet and chat with all of you guys.
Yes, thank you so much. So who can relate to what Krista said as far as what she struggles with as a leader? I mean, that is literally everybody. And that's why these things are so important. So good. Thank you for sharing that. That's pretty brave of you to talk in front of a bunch of people that you don't know. It's hard. So one thing I did do today, and I shared with my directors already, so something I did today that might be able to help you with that and finding the ones that want it is I ran a report for everyone in my squad, which means I'm their direct SSD, not in Anya's group, of certified consultants. So here's the thing with legacy leaders, that's lead and above. A lot of people don't know that. As soon as you turn a lead, you're invited to the group of legacy leaders if you want to be there, right? And one thing that I've noticed is when I send my group emails, a lot of times certified consultants will respond and introduce themselves, and they're new and they're excited and they don't know who I am, but I'm emailing them, so they're responding. It's great because it's like that freshness, right? So I decided to run a report in my squad of certified consultants who had at least 100 PRV for the month. And I emailed all of them. So for me, it was like 60 some people. And I emailed them and I just said, hey, you're receiving this email because you're a certified consultant. And I want to know as your SSD if you're ready to take the next step. That means you're a lead consultant, you're in a leadership position, and you want to do these things. You want to, I don't even know what I said in the email, I have to read it, but help others, sponsor, build your paycheck, and pretty much be a servant leader. And out of 60 some people, I've already gotten 4 emails that are like, yes, what's the next step? What do I need to do? And not to say that they're not getting that support from their team or their SD or even me, but reaching out to say, hey, who wants it? And having that very hard conversation. I've had this conversation with a lot of directors where I'm like, well, when's the last time you asked them what they wanted out of their business? One-on-one. Hey girl, I'm revamping and I'm really focusing on my business this year and working with the people that want to build their business. If that's you, let me know. Or is that you, right? To ask just plain out, do you want the next level in your business? So that's what I did today. And it has been, and Anya did it too. And it's just a good, like I said earlier, as a leader, all you can do is offer, right? And so now I know that as their SSD, I've offered that to them. If they take it, awesome. I've got a few people to work with. If not, that's okay. And so here's the other part of that is that everyone on your team has a place. Even we talk about llamas and unicorns a lot in legacy leaders. Llamas have a place too. Those people who are hobbyists have a place too, right? Anyone who wants to do this business is welcome. But as far as my personal time in this business, I have to choose wisely as a leader who to spend that on. So things that I'm sharing with the team as a whole is going to be shared on the team page or the legacy leaders page. But the people who are like, I need this. One of my new girls is like, I need this to get out of debt. Okay, girl, let's go. And she is literally picking every single thing up that I put down, right? But then I might have another person come in and they're like, I just want the discount. Awesome, girl, get that discount. And I'm going to tell you how to get the best discount. It's going to be to get certified. And it's going to be to get that shooting star kit. And it's going to be to do these things. And once you're there and then you see that things can change, right? Because a lot of people join for the discount or they join for this or something very, very, very small. And then they realize and have that aha moment. Because you got to remember, as SSDs, I didn't join to do what I'm doing. Anya definitely did not join to do what she's doing. Right? All of our directors didn't necessarily join to do what they're doing, but through their journey of showing up to meetings, going to events, doing all those things, it changed and that light went off. So we went a little bit over tonight, but truly thank you so much for taking time out of your night to join us and to share. If you shared, know that we are here. We love you. We did open this up to other SSDs that we work very closely with, because like I said in the meeting, this isn't just about you and your downline. This is helping the bigger picture, because there is literally room for everyone at the top in this business. We love you guys. Have a good night.